Welcome back to Earth Station Trek, a show where we trek from the early days on ABC to the future on Paramount Plus and everywhere in between. I'm Charles Kelso, and it's my privilege to introduce the Earth Station Trek crew, Alan Seiler.
Welcome to Starfleet Academy.
And Veronica Dashel.
We did it first.
Yes.
Yes. Right. And we had planned to talk about Strange New Worlds season 3, episode 3 tonight, but there was so much coming out of San Diego Comic-Con this weekend, we decided to bump that. We're going to talk about 2 episodes of Strange New Worlds this coming Thursday, and then right now we're going to talk about the stuff that we learned about the coming year in Star Trek from San Diego Comic-Con. So it should be pretty exciting.
Super excited. So everybody, welcome to a very special multimedia episode of Earth Station Trek.
That's right.
Yep.
All right. So do we want to get started with the first little thing that we want to talk about?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. Give me 1 second to get this queued up.
Okay. And
this one I'm the most excited about. This is what I'm most excited about.
No surprise.
Here we go.
All right.
Hit it. You heard me say hit it, right? Spock? Anyone? Did you go to season 4 without me?
All right. Now, Alan, I want to get your opinion on this first, because obviously Veronica and I have a very different relationship with puppets.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, here's my hot take. You ready?
Okay. Yes.
I think the puppets look the puppet. We've only seen one. Looks great.
Right.
I think the idea is kind of cool, but here's what I'm going to say. You know that I'm not a big fan of gimmick episodes.
Right.
Even though if the episode is good, I don't like the reliance on a gimmick, and this just seems gimmicky. And I don't mean that in any insulting way, because I know I'm talking to 2 puppeteers. But it's the same way that I didn't really care for the musical episode, even though the musical episode turned out to be amazing. I just would rather not have a musical episode.
Sure. And it would probably go over better with the general population if there weren't 10 episodes and half of them were gimmick episodes.
Right. Exactly.
Sure.
They're fun as a little seasoning, as salt on a dish, but not the entire dish.
Yeah.
Right.
That's just my take, and I don't mean any disrespect.
I tend to love the gimmick episodes more than the hard sciencey ones.
Sure. Sure. I mean, and that's great. And they're playing to both audiences. And so that's fine.
Yeah.
Right.
So what about you guys?
I mean, obviously we sort of saw this coming. We based our whole show at DragonCon last year about the Gimmicron particles getting out of control and the gimmicks, and obviously we do puppet shows, and so we have our own Captain Peak sitting back here behind us, who is our own version. I knew this was, it had to, the way that these guys love gimmicks, and doing a puppet episode is the ultimate gimmick episode.
I really want to know how far in advance Anson Mount knew about this.
Okay.
Because I showed him a picture of our Captain Peak backstage, because he was there for Substate Crapsy Picture Show, and I was like, I just really want to show you this. And I was like, we do Star Trek puppet shows, and we have a Pike, we call him Captain Peak, puppet that we're doing, and I just wanted to show you him. And he's like, oh, okay. Talking to the weird nerd that was nerding at him. But
now I will say it sounds like they're going all out for this, because they've got Jim Henson's Creature Shop doing puppets, and the episode is directed by Jordan Canning, who has directed Henson's Fraggle Rock, Back to the Rock. So they're not just trying to do their own version of puppets. They got real puppet experts in to build these things, and for the director who knows how to direct puppets.
Yeah.
Yes. And just think of the whatever adversarial alien creature thing they will come up against.
Yeah.
They can do all kinds of weird stuff with puppets.
Exactly. That's exciting.
Like anything, it depends on the execution. Obviously, there needs to be a Star Trek reason, and I hope it's better than we found another subspace anomaly and this one turns us into puppets.
Right.
Like, something cool because
something new at the very least.
Right.
It'll be another Trelane trick or a Q trick.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you could have Trelane snap his fingers and everybody's a puppet.
Exactly.
You could also, I mean, they've done episodes before where people become androids and things like that. The androids could very easily look like puppets instead of looking realistic. Like there's a lot of different things you could do to turn people into puppets.
Right.
And I like that. I mean, obviously they would have had I would expect they build a custom version of this chair for this because obviously you got to have a hole in the bottom and you got to. And I mean, and not only that, you got to get a person underneath it to operate the puppets. And so
I'm more interested to see the behind the scenes stuff than the actual show.
Like for the Muppets,
absolutely,
you have a platform where the humans stand, and then you have a lower level where the puppeteers can move around and operate because they have to obviously be able to walk or move. And now I suppose a good puppeteers could potentially do it, but I would expect that they wouldn't want to do it. They'd have to elevate the stage or something. In order, if you're having humans interacting with the puppets, especially, then you have to figure in like the human performer's safety because you can't have humans falling into 5-foot pits while they're performing, right? So I am interested in the logistics of getting this done.
Yes.
But I think it'll be fun, and I could see why they went with something like this for the marketing. They always do when they're like the initial marketing for these seasons because the gimmick episodes light up, social media and that sort of thing.
But this is so early to be, teasing out season 4.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, this we expect won't come out for another year. And we're hoping it's another year because the last time it was I went too far. Spoiler alert. Last time it was 2 years between Strange New World seasons.
Right.
It sounded like based on what they said at Comic-Con is they're talking about what's happening in the next year in the Star Trek universe. Right. And they talked about they brought in Strange New Worlds and they talked about season 4 a little bit and they brought in Starfleet Academy.
I mean, they've got to have Strange New Worlds airing this time next year because it's the 60th anniversary.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want it to be between Strange New World seasons.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that when we get to Academy.
Okay.
Because anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay. Well, did we want to move on to the next thing?
Well, yeah. First, let's if viewers have a comment about the puppet episode that's coming up next year, go ahead and drop it in the comments and we'll get to it as quickly as we can. But we're going to go on to the next trailer, but we'll get your comments as we go. So what got queued up for us? Oh wait, I didn't mean to do that one. Zombies. that applies to season 3 that we aren't talking about tonight.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Stay tuned for Thursday.
Yeah.
Right.
Gonna attempt to cover 2 episodes in one night.
All right. And away we go.
All right. No volume.
Oops.
So what we're going to show next is the trailer that they released for the new Star Trek KAHN podcast.
This is Star Trek KAHN, the untold story of Star Trek's most legendary villain.
Captain Sulu, the new pieces added to this puzzle by the logs I retrieved on SETI Alpha 5 only confirm my belief that KAHN was much more than a mad tyrant.
What is it you hope to achieve here? KAHN and his people are dead.
It is my intention to find the truth. Help me find the rest of the story.
Featuring Naveen Andrews as KAHN.
Kirk did us a favor. From this quintessence of dust, we will rise.
Weapons ready! Fire! Ren Schmid as Lieutenant Marla MacGyvers.
The simple fact remains that we are both here now and must find a way to share this world and its dwindling resources.
Sonia Cassidy as Dr. Rosalind Lear.
In my experience, monsters are made, not born.
With Tim Ross as Ensign Tuvok.
Vulcans find it incredibly difficult to lie. Why this renders us especially sensitive to the lies of others, I am not aware.
And George Takei as Captain Sulu.
KAHN was one of humanity's greatest mistakes, a product of ill-advised genetic manipulation.
If
If there is any justice in this universe, one day we might avenge ourselves. Starting with Captain James T. Kirk.
Star Trek KAHN. Coming soon, wherever you get your podcasts.
I am KAHN!
Nice. I just want to say, the first time I saw that trailer, I was 100% on board until that last line. I am. And I was like, I don't need all that.
I have one thought when I was watching that. So the person playing KAHN is amazing, and I can kind of like, as he's speaking, I can imagine in my head what he would be doing if I was watching an actual episode. Same thing with Sulu and Tuvok.
Yeah, that's good casting for Sulu and Tuvok. I agree.
Right, well,
right.
But when they were voiced, because not everyone can be a voice actor. You can't put. Not everyone can put their actions and how they're reacting to something into their voice and have it carry over.
Sure, yeah.
I thought they did that very well. The other two people I was not impressed with. It just sounded like they were reading a script, but maybe that was just that little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's how I felt about those particular two, the bits that we heard of them.
Yeah.
So I think most of this is new information, right? Like we didn't know the cast of characters before this.
No, we knew Naveen Andrews and Rin Schmidt.
Yes.
But we did. I didn't have any idea that George Takei or Tim Russ were going to be in it.
Yeah.
Right. Or that they were bringing back Marla McGivers. That's interesting. I mean, we knew the same actor, of course, but
right. Yeah. They had previously announced that Naveen Andrews would be KAHN and that Rin Schmidt would be Marla McGivers. But that was really the only. And I only remember that because she's in For All Mankind, and I like her a lot in that show.
Oh yeah.
And I think she's good casting for it. Now, Naveen Andrews was fan cast. Like the fans wanted him to cast as KAHN 15 years ago. You know, like he should have been Into Darkness KAHN. Because I mean, he's a great actor. Also, he's got a closer relationship with J.J. Abrams, and like he's able to play the part, right? Because remember, he was in Lost. Yeah. And I mean, I think he sounds great in this. You're right.
Sounds amazing.
The I am KAHN at the end sounds a bit forced, but I think he's going to be fantastic in this role.
Yes.
And opposing opinion on that is Mark says they missed with the KAHN actor, not slow, calculating, or commanding. But
I think maybe you're judging too quickly. Maybe I am too. But I'm. If you've seen Lost, I think that certainly Naveen Andrews has the chops to pull it off.
Yeah. And this is one line of dialogue out of however many episodes this thing is going to be. So I'm we have to see what actually happens when we hear it.
I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah, and I'm hopeful that he can bring enough of what Ricardo Montalban did into it without doing a Ricardo Montalban impression
in person.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you got to balance.
Yeah.
When I got home from work, we went out to dinner with friends after work. So I didn't get home until, I don't even remember, like 9 or whatever o'clock. And then we sat down to watch all the trailers and stuff. I had no idea that there was a trailer for KAHN. Okay. And we were going to watch them all. And he was like, do you want to see this one? You want to see this one? I'm like, I mean, it's just a trailer for that podcast that's coming out. Well, I'm not excited about that. We'll save that for the end. And then I saw it and I was like, holy smokes, I'm excited about that.
Right.
So good job, trailer. You totally won me over.
Yeah.
Okay. Matt Sweatman says, maybe I'm basking in the Comic-Con news, but it feels somehow that Trek's future isn't as bleak as what we've feared. Right.
Yeah, and it was feeling a bit bleak there for a while because we had show after show being canceled. And then we had the first streaming movie, which none of us were particularly impressed with, I think is a nice way to say. But I think that there's a lot of hopeful things coming out of Comic-Con that are really exciting. And now getting into it sounds like there's going to be a framing story in this on the Excelsior where some new logs have been discovered on SETI Alpha 5. And I don't know if there's more to it than George Takei and Tim Russ discussing it, but I think it is smart. And they used to do this in Star Trek novels all the time. If you have an oddball novel, there would be a framing story with Captain Kirk or something so they can put Kirk on the cover and people are more likely to buy it, you know, because, people don't necessarily want to watch, or read a book that has nothing to do with the characters that they're familiar with. So I think putting George Takei and Tim Russ in this, I think grabs a lot more people's attention than just having KAHN.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's more than them just discussing what KAHN did on SETI Alpha 5, right? Hopefully it'll lead to something proactive that they can do in their story.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And certainly that's what's happening here. I mean, they wouldn't get those two people in if there weren't significant material to give them.
Right. I would hope not. And they are definitely going to sound older, but I've been listening to Big Finish Doctor Who audios forever, so I'm sort of accustomed to that, you know, like
right.
But just in the small clips we heard there, I thought they sounded fine. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
totally. So again, listeners, or watchers, I should say, drop some comments in, and we'll get your conversations going on screen, and let us know what you're thinking about these trailers as we go.
Absolutely. All right. Well, do you want to move on to before we get into the big one? A little toy news came out.
Yeah,
we get into a little toy news because Nacelle, they've been doing this sort of their oddball Star Trek line, where I think they're like 6.5 or 7-inch figures, but focusing on a lot of oddball characters. But they announced their Wave 3, which is not oddball characters. It's just the TOS cast. That will be coming out next year, which I think is fun. There's also a surprise 2-pack, but it's who you'd expect if you can't see the screen. If you're listening to this on audio, it's Captain Kirk, Spock, Dr. McCoy, Uhura, Sulu, Chekhov, Scotty, Chapel, and Rand from the original series in their regular duty uniforms, which is unique for what Nacelle's been doing, because Nacelle's been doing a lot of like strange characters, and, like Peter Preston is in their first wave of figures, right? And Valkyris, like not the characters you'd expect. So this was a little bit of a left turn for them, but I mean, it's the 60th anniversary next year, so I can see why they're doing it.
Oh, sure.
But then in their Wave 4, they're getting into some oddball characters.
Yes.
So you've got Captain Sisko, Savick, Beverly Crusher from Sub Rosa, Data from Generations, David Marcus, Captain Picard. This is the Little Ships edition, so he's in his sort of stripped down and just in his red shirt. Captain Harriman from Generations, Captain Proton edition of Tom Paris, Chekhov, the Nuclear Vessels edition, and Hoshi Sato from In a Mirror Darkly.
Right.
So if you like the oddball characters, they've got some of those coming up as well. I know you got very excited about Sub Rosa, Alan, but I don't know if you didn't see Captain Proton or if you weren't as excited about Captain Proton.
At that time, all I had seen was the little video that Gates had put out, talking about, and I was like, this can't be serious. They surely they didn't do that, and I didn't know that it was part of this line of stuff. I just thought she was making a funny video. That's all I thought it was. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And I mean, it's the Sub Rosa character. I'm assuming in her little nightgown, she's got the candle as an accessory. Oh my God. Everybody hates that episode, but I love it.
Right.
So I don't collect the action figures, but I'll buy that one just to show. I hope it becomes the biggest selling figure they've ever done, just because it's so quirky.
Right.
But now that I know the line, oh my God, I need a full play set of all the characters and the staging, the backdrop, and everything from Captain Proton.
Right.
Oh my God, I need that.
Yeah, and that's sort of the exciting thing about this line, is doing some of the oddball characters. And that was always the fun thing about the old Playmates line, was that they would do every character in every possible costume.
Some that they've never been in.
Right. And they were fantastic. And and now moving along from Nacelle a little bit, Master Replicas has announced several new figures. They didn't have big presentations, but their Star Trek Picard, Data, and Geordi have both been approved and will be coming out. As well as Ortegas. So they're continuing. This is the line I'm excited about, because it's the Playmate scale. They're sort of continuing on the Playmates legacy. So I've already pre-ordered several of the figures, and I'll be collecting those. Nacelle, I'm back and forth on, because I've got too much of the collector gene to buy like one here and one there, and I don't need to spend another $250 per line on action figures.
Right.
So I'm not sure, but there is also like a Nog coming out and things like that that are very tempting to get.
Nog.
All right, got some comments here, and Tony, I believe this is my buddy Tony Bowers, says the most exciting thing about KAHN is the involvement of Nicholas Meyer. Absolutely agree with that.
Right.
Elaine seems to be excited about a Hoshi figure.
Okay.
Matt Sweatman says, I get excited anytime we get an Enterprise character figure. Look at that, Chuck.
Mm-hmm. Someone has to.
And Mark says, Gates must have a great sense of humor to go along with this. Agreed. And, you know, she's just a delightful human being. So,
yeah, I think she and sort of Star Trek fandom have embraced Sub Rosa over the years.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it's for one, I mean, there was a limited number of memorable things that she got to do on the show. You know, oftentimes she was just in sort of in her doctor role. But I mean, Sub Rosa is certainly a memorable situation that Beverly found herself in.
It's that and her stretching with Troy.
True. Yeah, that was memorable as well.
And her dancing, you know, giving her dance lessons and stuff.
Dance lessons.
I mean, and the episode Remember Me, but there's nothing you can make any kind of like special action figure out of that. It's just her, you know.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's an exciting time for them. There's a ton of other Star Trek memorabilia. There's a company that's doing like scale foam Batlet and Doc Togs that are, I think, less than $100, but are a little more play safe and but that look cool. There's a company that's doing like miniature replicas of things, like sort of shelf friendly, they call it, of like the sort of K-less and things like that. So if you don't have room for, there's a lot of just really cool Star Trek figures, from the cheap to the super expensive. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out. So definitely, we didn't do a comprehensive thing about that, but definitely check it out, because there's a lot of really cool stuff coming out, and a lot of news came out of Comic-Con about it.
Yeah. Wow, that's exciting. I'm you know, I'm not a big like merch collector or anything, but I love seeing the stuff that comes out. I get excited about the things that these companies are producing and releasing, even if I'm not going to be, you know, buying it, because I don't have any place to put stuff anymore.
Right. That's
but I love seeing that, especially when it's an unexpected character or an unexpected iteration of a major character that you would never think anybody would ever make a figure of. I get so excited about that stuff. So
yeah, I get excited about
nerd. I don't care.
Right. I get excited about the Playmates, because that was my Star Trek toy line when I was a kid. And I've got a huge collection of Playmates figures. And now that, like I said, Maxter Replicas is continuing that, but with the new iterations of the characters that are supposed to be in the same scale. I'm really excited to start getting them and putting them along. I'd love to have the new Old Man Worf up against my All Good Things Old Man Worf and things like that. It's just super fun.
Yes. Oh.
All right. Do you want to move on to our next trailer? Do you want to take a break first, or do you want to do our next trailer first?
Let's go ahead and take a quick break.
Okay.
And then we'll jump into our big thing. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Do not go anywhere. Which one am I going to play? I don't even know.
Me either.
We'll do this one.
Attention, people of Earth.
Turned on the TV late last night.
'Cause I felt nerdy.
Save the galaxy from a fright.
'Cause I felt nerdy. On the TV late last night, 'cause I felt nerdy. Defied gravity and took flight, 'cause I felt nerdy. Exterminate, okay, destroy. I have to go. Having some problems up here. Good luck, stay safe, see you soon.
All right. And you want to grab that next comment from Mark while I get this next thing queued up?
I was just about to. Okay. Mark asks, have you guys and gals seen the tricorder? Yes, I was just about to mention that. From the Wand Corporation, way out of my price range, but I want one. Yes, I was going to say, when we're talking about merchandise coming out, there is this new tricorder thing that's coming out that looks insane. It is so great looking with all the stuff that it'll do, and it is expensive, yes. But if you're a real collector of, I mean, this is a mass-produced thing, but it's as close to not screen function, but the way the like fiction function, like the way that the tricorder would actually behave. Oh my gosh, it looks incredible.
Yeah, and they've got some like studio scale ships that are coming out that run up to like 16 grand.
Holy moly!
If you're a very wealthy Star Trek fan, there's a lot of cool stuff you could buy. I don't think I'll be buying one of those.
Yeah, no.
Or me and that ship will be under a bridge somewhere.
Right. I mean, you still haven't finished putting together the TNG set that you got.
I know.
That's true.
Like what 2 years ago now?
Right.
3 or 4 years ago. Yeah.
All right. You ready for the next trailer?
Let's do it.
Hit it.
And so, we begin. I'm Captain Nala Ake, Chancellor of Starfleet Academy. We're all the first Academy class to return to our campus in San Francisco after more than 120 years. Some of you are here for your families, some for yourselves. Together, you are the best and the brightest from across the galaxy. A tapestry that is Starfleet. You will learn the skills that shaped our greatest officers. Like them, we'll ask you to give more of yourselves than you knew you had. To dream without limitations. Whatever challenges came before today led you to this moment. You here now. You weave together the future. So go out and seek, explore, boldly go where no one has gone before. It is my great honor to welcome you all to Starfleet Academy.
First impression.
I'm so
My
excited.
God. I'm so excited.
Doesn't it look good?
Oh my God. You know, one of the things that I kind of occasionally complained about in Discovery was the overall like color palette of the show. Everything seemed to be very dim and very blue. And that's not the case with this trailer. And I was afraid that it was going to be, but this looks so different from that. And I'm so thankful.
Yeah, it totally does. But I mean, the uniforms and things look consistent with what we saw coming out of Discovery. That you can, it's not like a hard reboot or anything like that. You can certainly watch Discovery and then into this, feeling like it's the same world, which I think is good. And I think everybody looks great in the trailer. Now
I gotta say,
go ahead.
Nope.
No, I was gonna say they have the Academy uniforms that sort of call back to sort of those gray uniforms that they had like in season 3 of Discovery, and then the more colorful uniforms that are more like seasons 4 and 5.
Okay. Mark says, I think, I guess, or I wonder, Paul Giamatti can whistle that for real. Give him the Emmy. Oh, if that's what he's trying to say.
That's what I'm
Paul
thinking.
Giamatti can certainly whistle the Star Trek theme. He's a huge nerd.
I'm super duper hoping that that's not what he whistles in the actual scene, that they did that a dub just for the trailer, because that would be stupid if they do that in the actual scene.
True. However, I will point out that the Star Trek theme is already an in-universe piece of music because it was playing at Leighton's party in The Conscience of the King. They had that lounge music version of the Star Trek theme.
Oh,
so
my
it
God.
could be that he's whistling that.
Oh my gosh. I would never have thought of that, but you go.
Yep.
Okay. Elaine says, I don't know what I was expecting from Starfleet Academy, but I love what I saw and I'm looking forward to it. So what I was expecting to see was going to be the life of Starfleet Academy attendee, new entry into the thing. I wanted to see friendships form amongst new students that don't know each other. I wanted to see them just hanging out in the mess hall. I wanted to see them getting to know each other and finding their path. And I want to see at least a character who doesn't know what his path is going to be. He's still sort of figuring out what he wants to do. And from what I've seen in the trailer and from what I've heard the writers and stuff say at the con, that's all the stuff that they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing with this show. And I'm just excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that from this trailer, it looks less YA than I had sort of expected. I mean, there certainly are moments where you have little bits of romance and things like that, but I mean, they're college age people. they're gonna have sex with each other and fall in love, have breakups. You know what I mean? But it does feel like they've got that they are going to like a military school, because you've got the scene with them all in lines and chanting the principles and that sort of thing that that feels very much like they're going to a military academy, just a space age military academy.
Yeah. But there's so many little details in this trailer that I think really, I mean, I know we're going to go through some slides, so I won't mention many of them, but I'm just thinking there's so many little surprises in this trailer, and we've talked on Strange New Worlds and other shows about how sometimes they get a little overloaded with their callbacks to the past, but this to me I think feels different, because they're coming into Starfleet Academy. They are reestablishing Starfleet Academy. This is sort of the rebirth of the Federation. This is bringing new students into the Academy for the first time in 120 years to rebuild this organization that has been gone for a long time, and embracing its past and teaching its legacy. It makes absolute perfect sense in this setting, and I just love it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a setting where you certainly can shoehorn in like that. Like we'll see, it was on the trailer. There's the James T. Kirk Pavilion. There could be like the Malcolm Reed urinals, like whatever. There certainly will be opportunities to sort of squeeze in these sort of little references, because they're honoring, like you said, the past.
Did you just think of that this second, or did you plan that?
No, I didn't plan that. That was off the cuff.
That's hilarious.
But I think it makes sense. Now that there are some things that I have some disagreements with that we saw in the trailer, but let's go through some slides real quick. The first slides that I grabbed were sort of the character announcement slides.
Yes.
To look at some of the characters specifically. So we've got Genesis Live, who is a Dar Shah, and her focus is command. And they've done some posts with a little additional information about these characters.
Yep.
But
So are those is the little insignia they're wearing, is that in line with what that like Nog was wearing when he was at the Academy, or is that something different?
No, this is something different. They have some new I'm not sure if they're comm badges or if they're tri-comm badges like they had on Discovery.
Right.
Discovery, they had those tri-comm badges that could also be tricorders and pads, and basically it was a multi-function thing. I don't know if they have those in this or not, but they do. They're sort of like a classic Starfleet logo that's smaller, and then like these little wings coming off it.
Oh, I didn't see the wings in the first two pictures.
The officers also have pips on theirs with their rank. But this, I think I didn't say anything about him. So Dareem Ramey is a Keonian, focuses on command.
He's the one that's like from a well-to-do family,
like a wealthy planet, right?
Right.
Caleb Meir is a human. This is the orphan guy. His focus is undeclared. And then J. Den Cragg is a Klingon. His focus is on science, but in the additional information they put out, he's aspiring to be a medical officer.
Yeah.
And then Sam, which it stands for something like system, something mill.
Yeah.
She's a Casquian, she's a photonic being, a hologram, who's only a few weeks old, and her focus is on operations. And so this is sort of the character who, like, everything to her is new.
Yes.
And then I've got some slides, not as many as I usually do, because a lot of this trailer was like slow-mo, out of focus stuff. But I grabbed some slides. One thing that jumped out about me about when I saw this as just a still is that there are still streetlights on the Golden Gate Bridge.
How did you notice that?
Because I went through the trailer frame by frame.
And
I did too, but I didn't look at that. I was more attracted to the things that are hanging in the sky. And we see that in various scenes in this trailer. But they've got a lot of stuff that's just like floating in the air.
Yeah,
which
and they made a point of showing the San Francisco, like the pier, the port area. So hopefully the kids will be going, out into the city some and that sort of thing.
What's the little delta in that? And is that like a shipyard or?
Right,
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's a Ferengi ship.
It looks like a
it looks like it's on the lake.
It could just be like a landing platform. But you're right. It could have landed in the water. That could be a ship of some kind, like an ocean-going ship. It does look like it has landed in the water or is just in the water. It could be
in addition to the Captain Kirk Pavilion and the whoever you said urinal, there could also be the Trip Tucker maternity ward.
There we go.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Right.
Please and thank you.
Right. But yeah, here's the port of San Francisco. They make a point of showing the city, which looks a little Blade Runner-y, but Yeah, hopefully the kids will like.
I don't see a quarks. That's a problem.
I think that's fine. Unless this is Quark right here. Quar. Is that
Yep,
Quark?
it looks like it.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Good job, Starfleet Academy.
You know he's not going to miss an opportunity to franchise. Come on.
Right. So let's talk about her. Holly Hunter's character. I mean, she's she made a point. We watched the panel. Someone had uploaded a YouTube version of the panel where she was talking about, you know, the big thing for her character is that she's a captain, so a commanding officer, but also, you know, in charge of the school. And so, you know, she sort of has dual responsibilities there, where one is sort of shepherding and guiding the students, and the other is sort of leading and commanding on missions.
Yeah, because I saw that they were like all the cadets that they showed were assigned to the USS Athena.
And the USS Athena there's some photos of it in this, but they said in the panel as well that the Athena sort of docks at the academy and is part of the academy, but also is deployed on missions. And so sort of like a teaching hospital, the kids will be sometimes at school at the academy on Earth, and sometimes at school on a diplomatic mission or a mission, you know, where they're doing whatever Star Trek-y things. So it's not just school bound. So I think that's smart.
Yeah.
Yes. I was listening to or watching anyway interviews with the showrunners and stuff, and they said that when they were creating these characters, when they came up with this character, they were thinking, imagine Holly Hunter playing this. And then somebody finally said, well, why don't we just ask her? And they did, and she's like, yes. So they were like, I cannot believe we got Holly Hunter to play the character that was based on Holly Hunter.
Now, they did say sort of in the supplemental postings that she is half Lanthanite.
Yes, they said that in the interviews at the con, and I was like, that's crazy. Lanthanite.
Yeah. Well, I hope they do something with it, because so far they haven't done a whole lot with the fact that Pelia is a Lanthanite, right? It's just sort of a fact about her, and they met her in the past once. But presumably, Holly Hunter's character could have been around since before the burn. We don't know how long-lived she is.
Right.
But I hope they do something interesting with it. And with what do you think about this bridge? What we've seen of it so far? Just here.
I mean, it looks fine. It looks like a, you know, standard Discovery era bridge.
Yeah. Yeah. Sort of Strange New Worlds. It's got a lot of reds in it and stuff like that.
Yes, it does.
One thing that jumped out at me was that the command consoles, I don't know, maybe it's the programmable matter, but there's no buttons or switches or anything like that. It's just sort of these you know, the sort of pads that look kind of like sandpaper.
Right. Doesn't.
And here's a better view of it.
Yeah.
It is a big honking chair. I like when the captain has a big honking chair. Like, there's no mistake about which chair is the captain's chair.
Right.
But I do like
when you're on TNG and you've got like 15 chairs on the bridge.
Right. I do like the reds. I think that makes it feel very Star Trek-y.
I like the bases on the chairs that you can see in the background. They're very spacey.
Right.
Okay.
So here's a shot of presumably the Academy set. These Dot 23, I guess they're up to now. Like, droids are still around. Interesting. Some shot of the cadets in their uniforms.
Cadets. Yeah.
Here's what appears to be a Romulan character.
Right.
They're in different uniforms, so they are not part of the Academy.
These look more tactical.
Well, they do, yes. And we've seen there's another scene in the trailer where the Klingon character at least is wearing this uniform. So I think they're in tactical training in this.
Sure. Yeah. So here's the James T. Kirk Pavilion.
Yes.
Here's this guy.
This guy.
I forgot his name. Is that Caleb Meir? Is that his name? Did I get that right?
I believe so.
From the reds, this looks like the bridge right here, with the view screen.
Yeah,
is my guess. So perhaps a corridor on the Athena.
And
here's a better view of that badge.
Oh yeah, that's pretty.
Now I've said many times on this podcast how I feel about zippers and pockets on Star Trek. So they say in 1,000 years from now they've gone back to zippers and pockets. So I will try not to complain about that every week we watch this show.
Won't work.
Don't be a Keith.
No promises there. And here's this guy with glowing ear pods of some kind doing push-ups, and presumably this is the dorm room essentially, right?
Yeah, that's a fancy looking dorm room.
It looks like he's got a futon here that folds up.
Yeah,
that's a room that's entirely too big to be a dorm room.
Maybe, but I mean, all the rooms on New Star
depends.
Trek are massive.
It depends on how many people are sharing that room.
True.
Because they're cadets. There's probably 4 per room.
Right. But like Pike's cabin on Strange New Worlds is larger than my house.
Right. Exactly. Like, how do they have room for that on that ship?
Right. And these uniforms, I'm hoping are like training gear.
Yeah.
If this is tactical, I'm not sure that's a good place to put a glowing circle.
Very nice point. I like it.
Right. Here's your target. Here's Bella Shepard's character, I think Genesis Live.
Yes.
And now she's from, I think Darshaw. She's a new species that we've never heard of before, and I think they said that her father is an admiral.
Right.
I like that there's a good mix. There's some old species we're familiar with, and there's some new species. And even the old species we're familiar with is sort of they've done some interesting things with, I think. But I like her makeup. This is very like Star Trek Alien of the Week.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Like that, she could have been on TNG.
Right. On one of the less expensive episodes. There's Sam.
Right, here's Sam. And it jumped out to me that she's holding a pad.
Yes.
Right? Because on Discovery, they had gone to the hologram stuff, right?
Yes.
So now I don't know if this is just for the Academy, that maybe they don't have Tricon badges, or maybe they're moving away from some of that back to physical things. But I mean,
I'm super interested. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, go right ahead.
I'm very interested in this character and her being basically a synthetic character. She's in one place I saw it described as holographic,
right?
And I don't know that that's exactly right, but I'm interested in her relationship with the Doctor.
Yes, absolutely.
I think that's going to be super interesting.
Yeah, and she specifically said in the panel that she's a photonic character. She's a hologram.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right.
So wherever she's from, I presume that that's a normal thing. But she's only a few weeks old when she comes to the Academy, right? So she's sort of the character who all the experiences to her are brand new.
I wonder, do we remember if in that Voyager episode where they encountered photonic beings, do we find out what their species was called? Do we remember?
I don't remember. I think they were just
good question.
Beings, but I know they came through a rift. Now maybe she did too. I have no idea.
Right.
Here's this guy. This is a character I'm excited about.
Right.
A Klingon who wants to be a medic. Also very cool looking Klingon. Now because Discovery, we talked about every year, once they went to the future, they stayed away from Klingons.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm we have 3 different Klingon characters on this show. We have this guy who's a purebred. We have 2 hybrids. We have Paul Giamatti's character, which is half Klingon and half Tellarite. I'm sure we're going to get to him in a second. Yeah. And we have one of the instructors is half Jim Hadar and half Klingon.
I want to know how that worked.
Right.
I presume we're going to find out.
Right. So that's a lot of Klingon for an era that we've never seen a Klingon before.
Yeah.
And here we have our students being chummy with each other.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm sure there will be conflicts between them. There's sort of like the character dynamics, I'm sure, set up for that. Especially because you've got, like, for instance, this guy here who's supposed to be from this guy here who's supposed to be from like a wealthy planet, and this guy here who's sort of an orphan. So there's some, class divisions going on.
It looks like one of them is the girl with blonde hair. I don't remember what her character's name was. Is wearing Genesis Live is wearing a skirt of some kind.
It does seem like she has a skirt.
Yes.
With like pleats and stuff.
So the guy on the end, the one that's from he's the orphan. Right. He's supposed to be kind of our POV character. So I think he's going to be like the Burnham of this show. Hopefully not to the extent that Burnham was, but his journey, he's going to be on this. He's sort of like a loner, and he's he's driven for his own purposes. He joins Starfleet because he believes in what they do, but he also finds it as a way of furthering his personal mission. He is trying to find his mother.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really interested in what they've got planned for this guy.
Yeah, that's a good jumping off for a character arc. And I just threw this 2026 in here because at least we know that I believe it's supposed to be early 2026. So I'm hoping
they said early. Yes.
Yeah. I'm hoping like sort of the beginning of the year.
Right.
We could do a whole episode about this shot.
I told you, man, this is a crazy shot.
Right.
There is so much going on. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, they've got people like Troy listed in the ranks that they were on their respective shows, and then they've got Admiral Harry Kim.
Right. Like, the one that jumped out at me was Lieutenant Nog.
Yes.
So are we saying that Nog died? Are we saying that Nog left Starfleet? Nog was maybe they all achieved something. I could buy that. Say this is you have to get a certain achievement to be on this board, and Nog got it as a lieutenant, and Carrie Kim got it as an admiral, right? So
yeah.
But I don't really care for them sort of freezing some of this stuff in amber, right? Like I would love to imagine that Nog went on to be an admiral or whatever the case may be. There's also some like Kirsten Byers on here, Tawny Newsom's on here.
Yeah.
People who are working
exactly.
on the show. Beckett Mariner made the list as a commander.
Oh, so Tawny's on there twice.
Right. I saw someone post that. So Beckett never made captain because she's listed as a commander. And I thought, well, maybe Beckett made captain and then got demoted. That seems very Mariner.
Totally in line.
Right.
Mark points out that the hard armor suits look right out of the battle room in Ender's Game.
Yeah.
Yes, which I also hated that movie.
Okay.
Oh dear.
I love the books too much, and they
don't go on a tangent.
I won't go on a tangent.
We don't have time.
Don't let Mark get you sidetracked.
Right. So I'm sure we'll be coming back to this slide because we can't spend the next 10 minutes on this slide. But yeah, we've got some more shots of them, and I noticed that those Ferengi that we didn't care for from the 32nd century Ferengi. But since we've got several hybrid characters on this show, I'd like to think that maybe the Ferengis we're seeing Ferengi hybrids.
Yes.
Yeah, that's possible.
I like this guy.
Yeah.
What is that? I noticed him. Yeah.
He looks like he could have been on the original series.
True.
And then here's the Klingon character that we talked about, Crag.
Now the actor was talking about, and I couldn't find the interview clip today after I got home from work, but they were interviewing some of them describing their characters, and that's where I got some of the character details from.
Right.
He said that this is a Klingon unlike any that we've seen before. Like there's something different about him. I have a theory about that.
Okay.
But I'm going to save it.
For when?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll wait until we see the show, and then I'll tell you if I was right.
Okay. Sounds good. Called it. I think just the fact that he wants to be a medical officer is pretty unique for the Klingons we've seen so far.
Yes, I have
and I'm kind of hoping it'll be like that Klingon lawyer. We'll have a Klingon philosophy towards medicine.
Right? Exactly. That's what I'm
he's
hoping
in a battle
for.
with death.
Yes.
And then they had this bit where they're sort of chanting the principles of Starfleet.
Yep.
Here's the doctor.
There he is.
Yep.
I'm not sure how holograms put on a little weight, but there he is.
Yeah, I mean, he's a hologram. He can look however he wants.
I know. I know. Like he could have hair if he wanted to, but he doesn't.
True.
I was only being silly. I'm not.
Now, I noticed that he does not have a visible mobile emitter.
Right.
So whether that's no longer needed, or whether it's built into his badge, or whether it's like
they've
Red
gotten
Dwarf,
so far
where it's
beyond
inside
that.
him now, who knows?
Yeah. It's got to not be on his arm anymore, where anybody can just deactivate him at any time.
Just slap him with a
bad
with a pad.
design.
Yep. We get a little romance, which you sort of expect with characters of this age, young, attractive people. You sort of expect that they're all sort of college age. They got a few shots of them looking out at what could be falling stars. It could be an attack on Earth. It's kind of hard to know how to take this scene, out of context.
It could be like a Pleiades meteor shower. It's a romantic moment. I don't know.
They put sort of inspiring music over it, but it'd be kind of funny if we see the show and it's like, oh my God.
Right.
And then I noticed this guy sort of in this sort of Top Gunny Starfleet looking jacket.
Is that a starship coming down there in the background?
Where? Right here.
Right above his. Right there?
I mean, potentially.
Oh, yeah. Good call.
Yeah. And here's in outer space someplace, I would presume.
Yep.
Now, this is Tatiana Maslany.
Mark is not a fan of the asymmetrical jackets. This isn't the first time we've seen those, though.
No, they've had those in the 32nd century. I think they're cool.
Yeah.
I like them.
And Tatiana.
Yep, Tatiana Maslany. We didn't get much about her character, but she looks like she's having a terrible time.
Right.
Then we get him. What it looks like looking out the porthole of a ship into outer space.
Yep.
I thought this shot of the jacket, this sort of, or maybe an environmental suit, not sure, but it says captain on it. It's kind of cool looking. This guy's dreaming of being a captain, I'm sure.
This guy.
It's early yet. I haven't memorized all the names. I'm doing pretty well.
Right.
Now this
yes
shot, confronting the unexplainable, the fate of Benjamin Sisko, emissary of the prophets. Did he die in the fire caves of Bajor? Did he live on in the Celestial Temple? Now, the implication a lot of people have drawn from this is that Sisko never came back.
Right.
Which I don't agree with. I'm gonna if they ever explain it, then I'm just going to assume that history did not record that he came back yesterday and went and built a cabin and lived with his family and had a quiet life on Bajor, because I know that Avery Brooks would not have approved of Sisko never coming back for his kids. Right?
Sure. Yeah. Good point. So what do we think this is? Is this like a course that they're going to be teaching? Is this just like points of Starfleet history that they want the students to, have reminders of?
Yeah,
I don't know, but I'm interested either way it goes.
It seems like a museum type of thing.
Yeah,
could be. Yeah, it could be an interactive thing where she plays it and finds out the truth.
Oh, that's a good point.
Like, who knows?
Yeah.
I hope they don't spend too much time on this sort of thing. We say this every week with Strange New Worlds, but I would love for them not just to be learning about Starfleet history the whole time, but go out and have adventures.
Yeah, agreed.
Park bench. More lovey-doveys. And this is a scene with her dancing. She seems like a very joyful character.
Yes. I'm excited about her.
Yes.
And this is interesting. She is also wearing a skirt.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like the females have like a skirt with their whatever color shirt on under it and then the jacket instead of a onesie.
And perhaps not exclusively, because we've seen sort of the scants the females wear sometimes on Strange New Worlds.
And there was a guy earlier in the trailer too that looked like he had something similar to that.
Oh, good. I hope they do, because that's something they tried introducing on Next Generation that never took off. And surely 1,000 years from now, the people won't have the similar hangups as they do today.
Right.
But I like this shot of sort of a astrometrics looking lab. You've got Capella on there. Some other planets as well.
Deneb.
A starbase. They're interesting stuff to pour over. Now, I think this character in white, I think they said that she is the daughter of the Beta Z president. And there does seem to be something Beta Z going on.
Yes. Yeah, there is a Betazoid character. Yep.
Right. And I like these like varsity looking jackets. Like they're in school,
I do too. I want one.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. Here's Tig.
Yes.
Different uniform than all the others.
Right. And
I've seen this cut better than the others where it goes in. At least for some females, that is significantly more flattering.
I've seen her in 2 different uniforms now, which I find that interesting. Maybe one is when she's serving on a ship and the other is when she's teaching at the academy. I don't know, but I find that interesting. But oh my God, I am so excited about her being on this show.
I noticed that she has a whistle. So do you think she's a coach, or do you think she blows it at people in her engineering class?
She probably
blows it at people in her engineering class. 100%.
Probably so.
What do you think of this shot of the set? Because this looks like that giant set they've been talking about. That's supposed to be bigger than the promenade, so it should be the largest contiguous set that Star Trek has ever had.
Yes. Is this part of the mess hall set? Is this part of like a common area? Maybe.
Yeah. Well, it looks like there's sort of several sets built into this one giant set. Like there's several areas you can go to.
Exactly. It's like the student union.
The upstairs and the downstairs. There's physical stairs you can go up and down. Trees.
That's very Orville.
Go up and downstairs if you can just go boop, boop.
If they can. Like we don't know if they have that capability in this. Like we don't know if you're going to give the students the capability to boop boop, right? or maybe they're making the students take the long way around. Who knows? Now here's my prediction is my favorite character on this show.
Right.
She's supposed to be half Jem'Hadar, half Klingon.
Yeah.
Just
and you see it in the makeup.
Yeah, you can see it in the makeup, but also just looking at her, it's not as like, she looks like a Jem'Hadar, right? Like it's not some kind of weird reinvention. She fits in right in with the Jem'Hadar we've seen before.
But zoom in on the makeup first, if you can. Yeah. So that's very much a good blend of those two.
Absolutely.
And then zoom in on the uniform.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it in this shot.
Yeah,
but these are Klingon emblems.
Yes.
That are the texture on her uniform.
That's exciting.
And also you can see her rank pips here.
Yep.
So like 2.5 or something.
Yeah, and she's supposed to be the captain's first officer and also like the student master or whatever.
Yes.
And I don't know anything about her, but I know she's not taking any crap off these kids.
You can tell that.
Right. That'd be my luck as I get to Starfleet Academy and the person in charge of me is half Klingon, half Jem'Hadar. And
right.
I'm really looking forward to this character. I think she's a recurring character. She's not like a mainline cast member, but I'm hoping that they will. I just love her already.
Right.
Now, I've seen a lot of speculation online. A lot of people are like, oh, don't they know that Jem'Hadar can't have females? And they don't like, yes, like they know where Jem'Hadar come from, but this is 800 years later.
Yes.
We don't know now if the Jem'Hadar have become capable of sexual reproduction or if the Klingon and chromosomal changes have been introduced, right?
Right.
Presumably, you could introduce whatever you want into the Jem'Hadar makeup.
Right.
Also, we know like the Vorta were originally a biological species that the founders manipulated. The Jem'Hadar could have been like. There's a lot of possible explanations for why she's a half Klingon, half Jem'Hadar woman.
And you notice she does not have the feeding tubes.
Not that we've seen.
And why don't we all, and not us, but those people, just wait and find out what the episode tells us about her?
Right.
I'll bet you there's going to be a good explanation.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so. I hope we get an explanation.
Will make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and not just so we have an explanation, but because I'm curious and want to know.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And this is the sort of thing that's fun to me about being 800 years after DS9 is that they can play with these species and the familiar things and find out what kind of weird things have happened over that. Right, how these species have evolved over such a large period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting close on time, so there's a couple shots here of the ship. This is sort of a close up of it, and here's the captain. You can see her first officer back here. You see Admiral Vance.
Yeah,
in there behind her. And then I got a couple of shots of this ship as it's coming into land. It has the Starfleet Delta right on the top and sort of the big area here. You can see there's an NCC number here. We can't really make it out because of the steam. But you see the ship coming in to sort of land at Starfleet Academy. And it's a pretty cool looking ship. And it looks Star Trek-y, but futuristic, right? You can buy this as future Starfleet.
Oh, wow. Just has the disc and a neck.
Disc in the neck, and then these sort of
that's part of the ship.
Sort of nacelles here.
Yeah.
And then what looks like impulse engines or potentially just glows around a shuttle bay. But that's traditionally where the impulse engines would be. But I could buy this as a future version of Starfleet. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then here's a shot of several of the characters here, the Vance and the doctor behind the captain.
And probably directly behind her there was probably her first officer.
Yeah, she's in that shot somewhere. I saw her in one of the angles. Yeah.
Right. Starfleet Academy. I'm looking forward to this show. This is very exciting. And then here we've got you ain't whistling Dixie, right? We got our half Klingon, half Tellarite antagonist. Which already sounds like he's in a bad mood, right?
Right.
And then his buddies there look like they're up to no good. Especially this guy in the back here with some sort of
devil horns.
Right. These guys aren't coming to be nice.
Right. So I find this interesting that I'm talking about the placement of this show because we know now, we were not ever sure when this was going to happen, if it was going to be late this year or whatever, but now we know it's early 2026. And I feel like this show, which is all about, it's obviously celebrating Star Trek's past and Starfleet's past, but it's also about pushing toward the future. It's about rebuilding the Federation and reopening the Academy and all that stuff. And I think that this is being held for that slot specifically because this is the thing that's going to kick off the 60th anniversary year, and it's going to set the tone for everything that happens that year, where it's all about celebrating the past, but also about reaching for the future. And I am so excited about that.
Yeah. And like I said before, I mean, the Starfleet Academy is a good opportunity where it's very easy to shoehorn in continuity references.
Yeah.
Right. But also you have the future of Starfleet. It's the furthest we've ever been in the timeline. And you have young characters who are trying to build, their own legacy and finding their way. And they said on the panel, something that Alex Kurtzman pointed out was that they wanted the show to sort of mirror where the real world is, where it's sort of falling to the younger generations to pick up the pieces when things go wrong. Right.
Yeah.
And so that's something that a lot of young people are facing today. My own daughter is 19, and it is worrying the future that we're leaving for our kids, because we seem to have driven it into a ditch.
All right. A couple of last comments. My buddy Angela Burke says, remember Spock's childhood in school, which we saw in one of the movies, at least. Elaine says, I'm so happy that Tig will be back on my screen. Me too. And Matt says, I hope we learn of any changes to the Jem'Hadar religion. Do they still worship the founders? I am sure we're going to get into that.
I hope so.
Yeah. And in particular, I mean, that's a good point, because the Jem'Hadar we've seen obviously worship the founders. The Klingons killed their gods in ancient times, right? So she's got a complicated, at least biologically, her different legacies going on there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Holy moly, that's awesome. That's exciting.
So yeah, I'm piped up, man, for 2026.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of exciting things going on.
I mean, we get a whole new Academy series, and you're going to get puppets,
right? And who knows what else they'll do on Strange New Worlds? I'm sure they'll have a wild year. But yeah, I mean,
I'll tell you what won't be on there next year: Cybok.
Now that you said that,
calling it now.
Right.
All right. Anyway.
All right. So any closing thoughts before we finish this thing up?
Dude, I am so excited.
Me too.
About all three of these. And I wasn't that excited about KAHN. I'm like, I don't necessarily listen to fiction podcasts, but now I'm really into this. I'm really excited about it. And as much as I was excited about Academy, this trailer just amped that up, because it's it looks like it's going to be doing all the things I was hoping for. So I'm really jazzed.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right. Well, Alan, where can people find more of you?
CosmicCreative.com, KOZMIC Creative.com.
And how about us, Veronica?
FeltNerdy.com.
That's right. And up next, you'll be to see us at DragonCon. We'll be all over the place at DragonCon, either performing a show or running back and forth with puppets under our arms. So come find us at DragonCon, or follow us at Felt Nerdy across social media, or Felt Nerdy and Dirty for our more adult stuff. And where else can people find us?
Monkeying Around, a podcast about the monkeys.
That's right. And we've got a couple of episodes in the can that are going to be coming out here in the next couple of weeks that we're very excited about. So follow the Monkeying Around podcast. We're going to have a lot of fun. Next up is going to be our bonus episode that we recently did live about the legacy of Brian Wilson. So we stepped outside the monkeys and talked about Brian Wilson. So that'll be coming out in the audio form quite soon. And Veronica, do you have a closing for us this week?
Hit it.
Perfect. Now join us at our regular time. You can find us Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, or after the fact on your favorite podcast platform. And thank you everyone for joining us.
All right. See y'all Thursday night at 8 p.m.